Hello, YouTube. Danny Ultradad here. Who is here? Is anybody here? This is Danny Ultradad for a live stream tonight. I think I'm live. Looks like we have a few viewers that are logged in. And I thank you for joining us tonight. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can comment. Definitely put that in the comments so I don't have to repeat myself again. I want to make sure that you hear what's going on here. But I really appreciate you joining me. Sorry for the couple minute delay there. A few minor technical difficulties. But tonight is very, very exciting. Excellent. David, thank you. David Jobs, very good to see you here. It's a very, very exciting night. I am thrilled. And it's my pleasure to bring a really interesting guest on to this live stream. His name is Steven Kornhaas, and otherwise known as UltraTrail Steven. And some of you have met him before through his YouTube channel. UltraTrail Steven is the name of the YouTube channel. It's a very cool channel. And he was generous enough with his time here on this Saturday night to join us. I also wanted to say thank you for being flexible for those of you that wanted to watch this live stream. With having it rescheduled from, I think it was originally on Thursday night. Thank you for being patient with me, and just had some family stuff as usual. The Ultradad, you know how it is. And we got it figured out. So we now have some time with UltraTrail Steven. Can't wait to meet him. It's, I've seen him through his YouTube channel. And recently there's been some things with the Barkley Marathons. I'll be curious to hear about his input on that. He just recently did an interview with John Kelly, a very famous ultra runner, about the Barkley Marathons, and I'm very excited to have him on board tonight. So before we get started, though, definitely enter in where you're from, if you would. I've got David Jobs here. I've got Manny's Fitness Program. We've got Wolf Narwhal, Dugas Films. And definitely put in the comments where you're from, where you're listening from, and I'll definitely be able to ask UltraTrail Steven some questions too. So as we go through the live stream, definitely put those questions into the comments, and I'll be very happy to pass those along to Steven and get his input and his answers to those questions. So we got David Jobs from Northern Virginia. We got Manny's Fitness Program from California. Excellent. That's great. Hope all is well with each of you. The weather here, as usual, I always talk about the weather. It's awesome here in Ohio. Really nice. A little chilly, a little windy, but can't complain. So things are going well. And yes, there's my wife and my daughters. They're both watching as well. So, all right, let's bring UltraTrail Steven in. Steven Kornhaas. Hope everyone is ready to ask him some questions. I told him that we wouldn't try to make him feel too much like we were cross-examining him here tonight, but I definitely want to get some info from him. So I'm excited to welcome him to the live stream. Everyone, Steven Kornhaas, please welcome him to the live stream. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
What's going on, Dan?
How are you tonight?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Doing well. Hey, I really like what you just showed. You got some bourbon tonight?
I do, actually. This is some, private stash moonshine.
Oh, very good. All right. Yeah. I've got
Tennessee, you know.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I've got some family. Part of my mom's side is from down there near Gatlinburg. And so
nice.
Definitely a strong history of my family down there. And so I had a bit of bourbon this weekend myself. I had some friends in from out of town and bourbon drinkers, so we had a good time. But tonight I have some coffee. So as usual, I usually drink coffee during my videos, so I just figured I'd bring them tonight.
Now, is it black coffee or do you have creamer in there?
Black coffee. Yeah.
All right, there we go.
I used to do the creamer. I used to do a little bit of sweetener, but now I don't know. Maybe it's because I had kids. Strong stuff. But what kind of coffee do you drink?
Black coffee. Yeah.
Maybe it's just being a little bit lazy. It's just so easy just to, I hate, if I make my coffee, I just want to get to it right away. I want it to be strong.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah. I like strong coffee for sure. And it's got to be good flavored, like good tasting coffee. You can drink it black, but yeah, I'm like you. I used to drink creamer and sugar and all that stuff, but then I don't know. I don't even know why I switched. Probably because of maybe when I was in the Army, I just didn't really have access to it. So
yeah. Oh, you're in the Army. When, if you don't mind, real quick, when did you serve in the Army?
2008 through 2012 was active, and then ended my obligation in 2016.
Okay. My dad is a 20-year Air Force veteran.
Awesome.
And so I'm an Air Force brat. I moved around the country and I lived in Germany as a kid. So
Okay.
definitely have had a lot of experience with that. So, but
Very cool.
Thanks for serving our country. It's great. Good to hear that.
Same to your dad. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right, man. Well, let's get things started. So I have a little board off to the side with some topics just in case, but I figure we'll probably only get through a few of them. But the first thing I wanted to do is have you kind of introduce yourself. Let us know kind of, I know where you're from, but I think a lot of other people may not. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you into running.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Tennessee, kind of very 35 minutes from Frozen Head State Park. If that's where the Barkley Marathons is. I'm really close to there. That's where I train. But I guess I started running just regular, 2-3 miles, 5K, then work up to a 10K kind of thing in, I want to say 2006, maybe 2005. And then did that, just for fun. And then when I got into the Army, of course you're forced to run basically as part of PT every morning. So when I got out of the Army in 2012, I took a lot of time off. I think I didn't really run again until maybe a little bit here and there in 2014. And then really didn't do it seriously, kind of took a lot more time off. And then I didn't really get back into it seriously until 2017. And that's when I started doing, some relay races and more half marathons. Never did a marathon, just half marathon. And then I went straight from half marathon to my first ultra marathon, which was a 100-mile distance in 2018.
That's interesting because I posted a video maybe about 3-4 months ago that said the title of the video was this guy has never run a marathon, because I'm in the same thing. I never have run a road marathon, just half marathons, and then I jumped right into a 50K. So
nice.
I wonder how common that is for ultra marathoners. I wonder.
I think it's pretty common to go to like the 50K distance. 100 milers, there's definitely some people that have done that. I did one marathon in training that was just a trail marathon, just a training run. That was it. And then after that, I tapered and went straight into the 24-hour timed race where I did 100 miles.
Right. Now, have you? Let's see. So you've done 50Ks, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
What's your average 50K time?
It's really hard to say average, just because every course is so different.
That's true.
My 50K PR is. That's also a hard thing. It's like my 50K PR on trail and one continuous, like an actual point-to-point 50K is like a 5:07.
Wow.
I think I got 5th overall in that race. And then my fastest 5K or 50K, it's not, I don't consider it a 50K because it was one of those where you do like a 2.5 mile loop and then every 40 minutes. So I finished each loop in like 25 minutes. So I'd have a break. I don't really consider that a true 50K, but that was sub 4, but that's not the same at all as a true 50K.
Well, it's still pretty impressive though. My best time for a 50K, I think, is a 5:30.
Nice.
But maybe it was 5:45. I can't remember exactly what my PR is.
That's still pretty darn good.
But yeah, so let's talk more about then. Because I guess what I'm thinking of right now is the No Business 100.
Yeah.
I saw you had a great time, didn't you, in the No Business 100?
No.
Oh wait, no.
That's the one I rolled my ankle.
You were on track though. You had a good.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Right.
It was early in the race. I rolled my ankle like 18 miles into the race.
Oh.
I finished the race in like 27 hours and 6 minutes.
That's what it is.
Yeah. I ran 83 miles on an ankle that had I tore one tendon in the leg, in the ankle.
Wow.
So I was, even though it was slower than what I wanted, like I wanted to go sub 24, and I think I would have been able to do that. I'm I'm probably more proud of finishing that race just because of the condition that I was in than if I had, than even if I'd done like a 20-hour like 100-mile. I think I'm more proud of this.
Yeah. I mean, still 27 hours. Was that wasn't your first finish with 100 miles, was it?
No, that was my second.
Okay, what was your first one?
That was my first ultra. That was a 24-hour timed looped event where it was the Ozone Endurance Challenge.
Okay.
And so I did 100 miles in 23 hours and 18 minutes. It's on the board back there.
Oh, that's right.
23:13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that board you have back there with your medals and your. You said are you in your basement or what's your studio?
Yeah, it's a basement. It's my home office, and also my that half is the YouTube studio, and this half is editing, and then also where I work.
Now, UltraTrail Steven, I watched his video. I think it was it today or yesterday? Did you kill that spider? That was.
I did. Yes, I had to for sure.
That's great.
That thing was big.
Yeah, was it really? Wow.
The body of the spider, not the legs. The body of the spider was probably like the size of a quarter.
That's the worst part, though. I think, is the juicy part, the big, the body.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my studio is in the basement here as well, but we don't have too many spiders, so thankfully. But anyway, all right, let's get back on track here. So, did you run in high school?
No, I was actually homeschooled all throughout, all grades except for first grade. Okay. I did run track for all of about 2 months when I was in I don't even know what grade I was in. It would have been like elementary, maybe middle school, probably middle school. And in my first track meet ever, I was coming around. It was a 400-meter race, and I was coming around the last turn, and it's actually crazy now that I think about it. I guess I don't know if I rolled an ankle, but something happened to my ankle where it just gave out and I fell. Ooh. And I was like 8 years old, 9 years old, maybe. And at that point I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. This is dumb.
Well, you kind of have a history with some ankle rolling then. Is that something that continues to happen, or did it just recently rear its ugly head?
I rolled my ankle severely in college playing basketball, just like a pickup game. Okay. And I was on crutches after that. Like, it was bad. Oh, wow. And then, so that would have been like, I'm 37 years old. So that would have been, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, something like that. And then I rolled it again at No Business, October of 2020. That was when I rolled the left ankle. Well, no, I'm sorry. Actually, I rolled it once before that in November of 2018. Wow. And then I rolled it in 2020. Then I rolled my right ankle, which had been my good ankle. I just rolled that at the beginning of March. So yeah, I've got a history of weak ankles, and that's why I'm on the bike right now.
Yeah, I saw your new bike. That's pretty cool. The Giant Eagle, is that what it was, or the
Talon? Yep.
Talon. Yeah, right. The Giant Eagle. That's a gas station, isn't it? Giant Eagle.
I don't know.
But it looked like a pretty sweet bike. Have you ever tried triathlons by chance?
No, I'm not a swimmer.
Okay.
I can swim, but I'm not good, and I really don't have any desire to get into that world right now.
That's kind of how I got into ultras. I did I think 2 triathlons, and I'm a swimmer. I was a swimmer in high school and a runner in high school. Biking is actually my weak point, but
okay.
So I did a couple of those, and then I started watching YouTube, and I ran into the Ginger Runner, of course. That's the standard one everyone sees,
of course,
on YouTube, right? But also, what's the guy's name in Canada? Kerry Ward. He did. Yeah, he's a guy who lives in Vancouver. He's done Fat Dog. He's done a bunch of those races.
Okay.
And he's really the one. He was pretty early on with YouTube, and he would just take the GoPro, and it was, the quality is terrible, but you see the adventure, you see everything, and that's kind of what got me into it. So
yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So all right. So let's go ahead. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I think the main thing that got me to want to try an ultramarathon is also a YouTuber. It's Billy Yang.
Oh, Billy Yang.
Yeah, I love Billy Yang films. If anyone out there, if you've not seen Billy Yang's stuff, go watch The Why by Billy Yang. That's an awesome film.
Yeah, and he's done a bunch of them too.
Yeah, he has.
One of his latest projects, I think he did the Muir Trail, I think. Was that what he did?
The John Muir. That's right. Yeah,
John Muir Trail, and but he's quite an artist too. So
he really is.
Yeah,
his films are beautiful.
Oh yeah, they are. I feel like I've gotten. I've gotten it down, just taking the GoPro and talking into it and on the trail. But I'd like to make my work a little more artsy, I guess. So I
Yeah,
try my best. But
I would too.
he's very talented. Yeah, very talented.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm toying with on my channel is like if I want to continue to do daily vlogs, it's like because I made a commitment to do that for a little while, but at the same time, it's like I know that I don't have the time to really devote to the quality that I want. You know?
Right.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
tough.
daily vlogging. Like Seth James Demore,
Yeah,
that is intense to do that. And I mean, I'm so happy that he's found success. But it took
yeah,
him 4 years of daily vlogs before he really,
yeah.
which is crazy. But all right, let me ask you this. So I wanted to talk races a little bit. I wanted to talk about race directing. Have you been an RD at all? I think your wife is she not?
My wife is an RD. She has her actual first race coming up next weekend.
Oh, okay, great.
But we have an event that we've put on at our house for 2 or 3 years. Just it's what they call in the ultra world a fat ass, essentially, where friends get together and run and just hang out. But we turned that into a race this year, so we have that one as well this year. So we'll have 2 races this year.
Okay. Is that the one? Are you going to do that at your house? Because I know you've been working on trails behind your house.
The what's called the slightly less monotonous 6 and 12 hour, that's at our house. But the
Oh,
race next weekend is in the city that close to where I live in Jamestown, Tennessee.
okay.
So it's just a 5K, 10K half marathon on the road.
Okay. Now, do you have a running club that you belong to, or is it is it just a bunch of your friends, or how does that work?
It's actually my wife created the run club in our town because we live in a very very small town. Like I mean, I think there's maybe 4 stoplights if that.
Okay.
It's small. Like there's a Walmart and that's about it. But so she started the run club up in that town, and I haven't really gotten to run with them much because generally they just do like a 3 mile route in town, then maybe get a coffee afterwards. And that's on Saturday mornings when I'm normally out where I was before I got injured out for a 3, 4, 5 hour long run. So
Right. Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Do you going back to a little bit of your intro? You have a family, obviously. I've seen some of your kids, and how many kids do you have?
I've got 4.
Wow. I don't know
Yeah,
how you keep up with that, man. I don't know.
it's busy, man.
I've got 2 myself. I've got a 6th grader and a 4th grader, and they become more independent, the past couple of years. But it is it can be a challenge, especially
Yeah,
for as as an ultra marathoner, your training, like you just said, can take hours and hours, and so it's quite a balance. How
yeah.
do you found that to be on your end as far as balancing that?
Well, to make it even more difficult, my wife is also an ultra runner.
Oh, that's right.
So,
That's right.
yeah. So we both have to sit down. Like we literally sit down. We'll print out a couple like 3 month calendars, and we'll go over the schedule together, like any races that we want to do. And actually, we'll do this a year in advance. I put the races we want to do, and then our training. We know what needs to happen for that. So it's we have a treadmill in the house that sometimes we have to use, even if it's beautiful outside, because it's just maybe my wife had to run to the store and I'm here with the kids, so I hop on the treadmill. Or we do have the trail here at the house, which is just a 2 mile loop. So at any given point, I'm never more than like 10 minutes away from my house. So I'll run out there if the kids are home. It's just not. It's tough. It definitely is tough. There's times where we've had to prioritize different things, and somebody else has a race coming up, so they need to prioritize their runs, and it's a challenge, but we make it work fairly well, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. It is challenging, but it's worthwhile. I mean, I love the sport,
Yeah,
uh, and it is cool to see your kids and your wife, kind of hanging out with you and going to your races, and you're supporting her. That's really great. Great to see. The ultra dad likes that. So anyway, um, so what was I going to ask you? I did, I want to get into a couple different topics. I do also want to look and see if there's any questions here in the comments. Let's see. We have Manny's fitness program. Apparently, he told you he was going to be watching this
he
stream.
did. He said he was going to come. Good to see you, Manny. Thanks for coming by, man.
Is he a friend of yours, or a YouTube friend, or
He's another YouTube friend in the community. Yeah,
that's great. Okay. Yeah, it says he still doesn't like running, but he runs at least half a marathon every week throughout.
nice.
That's great. And then All Nut Productions, that's actually my brother. So
Okay.
he's a fan of Billy Yang as well. And let's
Oh
see.
yeah.
I'm gonna bring in All Nut Productions. That's my younger brother. My
Okay.
uh, I always call him the cooler and better looking brother in the family. So
He's got that
he's
ultra runner mustache. Is he an ultra runner?
he is. He is. Yep.
Nice.
He usually sticks to like the 50Ks, but we love him. We train together sometimes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Whenever we can. He has a pretty busy schedule. He's a nurse practitioner, so he's just very busy. But we love it when we can connect. So there's All Nut Productions, and we've got Manny. There we go. Bring him in. He's a man of his word. Manny, I'm going to make sure I'm subscribed to your channel. I think you're subscribed to mine, so I thank you for that. And I also want to say thank you to anybody who's watching for subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. And also to Steven's channel. He has a little bit, well, your channel is about twice the size of mine, but I still think we fall kind of into that smaller YouTube class right now. And it's kind of fun to watch how we're doing. I've found it's pretty neat to see fellow YouTubers succeed. So, and as you know, I've kind of sometimes if someone is mistreated in our little community, I get a little bit upset. So
yeah, we gotta watch out for our own,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So, but all right, so Steven, let's see. I gotta see if I need to take this off or okay, there we go. All right. We got 16 people watching. That's great. Thanks everyone for joining us. I've got UltraTrail Steven here, interviewing him a bit, getting to know him. This is the first time we've spoken face to face, and it's been a real pleasure to meet him. I know I do want to be respectful of his time. He's got some stuff going on this evening, so let's get right to a couple topics. Why don't we hit Barkley here real quick? So the biggest thing I was going to ask you is, what is it like to live near the Barkley Marathons? You probably don't even, if you didn't know about it, you wouldn't even know it was there probably. But is it fun to be the YouTuber that lives close to the Barkley?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the first time I went to Frozen Head was probably, I think it was 2019, maybe, might have been 2018. I think it was 2018. But the first time I went there and I saw the Yellow Gate in person, like for myself, I was there, and I just remember like feeling like I was in this magical like place where like, I was running in the same place where legends of our sport run, and that was so cool. Like it was amazing to be going and like, oh, that's the Pillars of Doom. That's so cool. That's where, Jamil Curry jumped across or whatever, I was geeking out and I love it. So it's an amazing place to train because they have a unique thing for where I live. This is the Cumberland Plateau of Tennessee, and they have crazy elevation gain that I can get on the park trails. Just awesome climbing, power hiking. There's great trails that are steep that you can run up that are, nice, technical descents. It's just a great park. And the fact that the Barkley is there is amazing, makes it even, all the more special to go there. The Barkley Fall Classic, I've done that twice. And that's at that same park.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a special place.
Do you feel like you've almost run the Barkley Marathons because of the Barkley Fall Classic? Is that very similar?
No, not at all. Like the Barkley Fall Classic it's tough. Like, it's a 50K. In 2019, I did it. Obviously it's similar rules to Barkley where you're not allowed to have any GPS watch, anything like that. But obviously after I ran it, I went home and plotted it on, GaiaGPS.com so I could see a rough estimate.
Sure.
And for the 50K, it was like 36 miles and like 13,000 feet of elevation gain. And that's the year we did just one trip up Rat Jaw. So in that year we did Testicle Spectacle, Meth Lab Hill, and Rat Jaw. Those are 3 Barkley places.
Right.
Everybody knows, those are out there. That's not secrets. So it was tough. It was very tough. And then in 2020, because of COVID, that was a very special year to do it because the race was already full. And with COVID, they actually were either thinking of canceling the race, but instead of canceling it, they only accepted people that have finished the Barkley Fall Classic 50K or have done a serious mountain race. And I wasn't even in the race. And they had like 8 spots left, and Laz posted up in one of the groups that I'm in that he was looking for people that had certain qualifications. So I said, hey, sure, this is what I've done, and I'd be happy to do it again. He's like, sure, put your name in there and I'll put you in. So I got in. This was like in August, I think, and the race was in September. So luckily I was well trained, but it was tough. That was 2020 was the year we did Rat Jaw twice. And that was tough, but that's only 3 off trail climbs. Where the real Barkley, I mean, there's like 13, 14 off trail climbs each loop.
Wow.
Where you're talking like some of them make Rat Jaw look, I wouldn't say tame, but they're worse than Rat Jaw.
Wow.
That from what I've heard, I mean, I've never done them, but it's, it gives you a small taste in the sense that you see the park, you get to see some of the areas they go, but it's really not comparable from what I've heard from people that have done both.
Okay. And so obviously, I mean, I've been watching your channel. I've seen videos from you training, just running out there just randomly, but you don't seem to, did you say much on social media? Did you say much on your channel when you were doing the Fall Classic? Because I don't remember that if you did.
I did. This 2020, I wasn't on YouTube in 2019, but in 2020, when I found out that I got in, that's when I started doing daily vlogs for my training. And then I didn't take any video during the race. I didn't take my GoPro, but going to the race, at the start, and then at the finish, after I finished, I took some video. Okay. So I have a video up there about that, like just to give people like an idea of the time frame. So like, we said earlier, my fastest 50K is a 5:07. For a mountain 50K, like my fastest time, that had like 7,000 feet of elevation gain. That was like 5:45. This race, Barkley Fall Classic, in 2020, it was close to a true 50K, like close to 31, 32 miles. And it had a little over 12, right around 12,000 feet of elevation gain. That took me 10 hours and 18 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's no joke.
Yeah. I mean,
I was in the lead pack going up Rat Jaw the first time. There was 4 of us. So we were the ones responsible for clearing the trail because the briars were 7 feet tall. And that's no exaggeration. They were 7 feet tall. So this is a mile where you gain 2,200 feet of elevation gain in 1 mile. So there's like 60-70% grade. So yeah, we were taking turns clearing that, and that took 2 hours to go up that 1 mile clearing the trail. So it was slow.
That's crazy, man. Wow. Yeah. I think when you see some of the films and you see some of the video from the course, I think that myself included, a lot of the people that watch those things you can't quite grasp, exactly how rugged those mountains are unless you see them.
I think that's a lot of people get caught up because they think, oh, it's Tennessee. It
Right.
can't be bad. And then you get here and it's even the park trails. There's sections on Park Trail, like Chimney Top or on the North Bird Mountain, where it's like 40 to 45% grade on a park trail.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I know I had talked about, because I'm going to be hopefully going down to the Cruel Jewel 100 here in a couple months.
Yes.
And I had talked about potentially coming down and stopping by and seeing you. Last I told you, I said I probably couldn't make it, but I'm going to still see if there's any way possible to do it, because
man, that'd be awesome.
Just us talking about it right now has given me the itch a little bit to check those mountains out, because I've driven through those mountains many times.
Yeah.
On my way to Florida, basically, but I've never really stopped. I have camped there a little bit, but not done serious, trail running or hiking back there. So I think that would be a lot of fun. But anyway, so yeah, man, that's.
I hope you can. It'd be fun.
Yeah, it would. It would really be fun.
But I certainly understand with Cruel Jewel, you need to be mindful of your legs.
Yeah, that's that race is going to be pretty brutal if I get in. I'm still 20th on the waiting list. So.
And then when is the race again? Is it like 3 weeks or something?
No, it's 6 weeks. So
okay.
May 14th? So,
okay.
So
that's like 33,000 feet of elevation gain, isn't it?
It's insane. Yeah. 30. Yeah. I mean,
that's crazy, man. That's good.
I don't even know how to grasp 33,000 feet. I mean, it's a lot. And so we'll have to see. Let's see we've got some people that joined the live stream tonight. I definitely want to welcome everybody, to those of you who've just joined up. Thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, feel free to mention it down in the comments. I'd love to pass that along to UltraTrail Steven as we go here. So I do have a question here from Endorphin Seeker. Let's see here. Endorphin Seeker says, oh, wait, I pressed the wrong one. That's not Endorphin Seeker. There's it. All right. What were the weather conditions like during your Fall Classic?
In 2019, it was hot and humid. It was miserable. It was like, I want to say high 80s, low 90s, and crazy humidity. In 2020, we could not have had better weather. I mean, it was perfect. It was like it was in this probably low 70s, and it was actually cool in the morning when we started. It was probably like in the low 50s. So it was perfect. The humidity wasn't bad. Like the weather was amazing.
That's awesome.
Good question though. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. You kind of wonder when you're watching, the different films about the Barkley Marathons too, different time of year, but you kind of wonder, they always talk about how terrible the weather conditions are. But like you
Yeah.
said, you think, well, Tennessee, I mean, I actually would like to move there someday because it seems so mild, but that time of year in the mountains, you're dealing with all kinds of stuff, aren't you?
During the actual Barkley, the
Yeah.
big Bark. Yeah. Well, even so, I mean, Frozen Head really is its own microclimate.
Okay.
I mean, the surrounding area could be sunny, and then you'll go to Frozen Head and it's going to be foggy and you can't see more than 30 feet in front of you, and you might get hail, or it's crazy. It really has its own weather system.
Wow, that is insane. All right, let's see. We've got something here from Daniel Sudo. He's doing a 50K in May. It's 3 loops. Are there any negatives to doing a loop 50K as opposed to a point-to-point or a one single loop? What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I've done looped races before that are a lot of fun. I mean, especially if you get to set up your own aid station, you can always see your stuff every, what is that? Every, I don't know, 12, 15, every 13, 15 miles, something like that. 10 miles, whatever, my math, you can always see your own aid station. You can get your food. No, I don't think there's any negatives at all. I mean, what do you think?
I think it's more positives to me.
Yeah.
I mean, to be able to see to have that stop every, like you said, every whatever it is, 12, 13 miles or whatever it is. I can't do the math either. That's nice because you don't have to have people chasing you around a course, and for sure that you'll have that time to refuel or do whatever you need to do, take a rest.
The only thing I would be cautious about is don't take too long of a rest, unless you're just doing it to solely have like an experience and fun, and do whatever you want to do. But if you're trying to like do your best time, be careful at your aid stations, because those 4 or 5 minute stops at an aid station, they add up. I mean,
Yep.
I did a race where it was a 50K, I think. No, it wasn't a 50K. I think it was a 100-miler. And at the stops at the aid station, when I added them up at the end of the race, it was like over an hour or like an hour. It's like, come on now. I mean, get that down, Steven.
Yeah, that'll do a dent. Definitely put a dent.
Yeah.
In goals as far as time wise. Yeah, I remember you're talking about not spending too much time in an aid station, not just for your time. I think sometimes, especially with the 100-miler towards the end of it, if you're like, after 50 miles, between 50 and 100, my first one, I remember several people dropped because it was kind of cold out. It was after dark. We were at an aid station with a fire. This is
yeah.
Weekend 100. And this poor guy next to me, I was just stuffing myself with quesadillas, and I was in good spirits. I was running with a friend of mine, but he was kind of by himself, and he was freezing cold, and he was shaking, and you could just tell it was over, and I was like, "Are you going to continue?" And he's like, "I don't know if I'm just like, oh, I feel so bad for this guy." But at that moment, my friend and I looked at each other and we're like, "All right, let's go. We're out of here."
Yeah. Well, that was me at No Business because of my ankle. Like, I was moving slower, and the aid stations had fires. It was cold, and they had coffee. So we'd sit down. We'd literally spend 10 minutes at an aid station and just drink a cup of coffee, sit and get warm. And so when you're injured, I can see it, but yeah, you got to watch out because that adds up so quick.
I don't know how you finished that race, man. I mean, you ran 83 miles.
83 miles.
And you still finished. The point I was trying to make earlier was you finished in 27 hours. My first at the Mohican 100 last Halloween, I finished in 31 hours, and I wasn't injured at all. So that's pretty impressive, man. I mean,
well, for anybody that hasn't seen it, I got a video on my channel.
That's right. Check it out. And you can even check out Ryan Clayton's video too.
Yes.
They together at times, and they both finished, and it was very impressive. So, all right, let's see here. I'm going to pick a question from my brother here. He says, "What's your favorite ultra that you participated in, and why?"
That's a good question. That's a tough one, though. I think the most proud of a finish I've been was probably my first ultra or the No Business. So the first ultra was the 100-miler, which, a 24-hour race, which I actually I actually won the race.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
So that was, I got real lucky. I mean, I got real lucky. I won that race. So I was super proud of that, being my first ultra, first 100-miler, first sub 24-hour, first overall win. So that was, I got a tattoo with the belt buckle on my calf.
Oh, really? That's
yeah.
awesome.
So there's that. And then the no business, I'm super proud of that one because of the way I finished it within being injured. But also just the no business that's probably going to be probably my favorite. I'm running it again this year.
Okay.
I'm not going fast this year though. It's going to be my wife's first 100-miler. So I'm going to do the whole thing with her.
That's awesome.
But that race is just, Brian Gages, the RD, is super awesome guy. He's a runner, an ultra runner. He knows what people want, and his aid stations are awesome. It's a beautiful course. It's an amazing race. I think that's probably going to be my favorite ultra.
That is great. That's great. Do you have any other ultra 100-milers planned, or is that the one you have?
That's it this year. Obviously I'm always putting in my ticket for Western States, and I've got a race in June this year. That's a 70.5 miler in Pennsylvania, the Laurel Highlands.
Okay.
That I had a really high goal for that race, but with this ankle injury, I'm gonna have to reevaluate and make some changes. But it'll still be a fun time.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, man. You can tell watching your videos that you're just very disappointed with the injury, and I hope you get better.
For sure. I appreciate it, man.
Are you getting any kind of physical therapy, or is this something that you're just trying to work through yourself?
With this one, I've been working through it myself because unfortunately I do have experience with ankle rolls. I did see a PT after the last ankle roll, and I've been doing a lot of the same exercises, and I may actually go to a PT to get it looked at because something in the ankle just doesn't feel right. I like it the way it's healed. I don't know. Something just feels different. So I might get it looked at to see what they think.
Yeah, it probably can't hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, we're, as ultra runners, I think we're going to eventually break down. Or at least I feel like my joints and my feet, my knees are eventually going to give out. I mean, I'm just being honest with myself, but certain things you definitely want to get checked out, and you don't want to make something worse. But
yeah,
I certainly hope you can get through that soon.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem. I hate to see it down. All right, so let's go back to Barkley just briefly. So let's talk about the so-called controversy. Let me ask you mostly. I watched the interview with John Kelly. If anyone hasn't seen this, you can check out one of my videos, or I've had a couple of them on this topic. But Steven has also had a couple of videos. But and correct me if I'm wrong, Steven. But basically, the gist of it is Steven lives close to the Barkley Marathons, and this year during the race, he decided to go on a hike near the race and took some video from during the race, but it was pretty innocuous. Definitely was encouraging a couple runners and nothing bad at all in my opinion. But if you want to hear more of my thoughts on this, definitely check out my video. So this happened, and there was some pushback from that. So with that introduction, if you just tell us a little bit about it, Steven, and as much as you feel comfortable with, and then also mostly, how did you feel after the interview with John Kelly, where you were able to kind of debrief from that situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think you gave a good overview. I'm a local guy, and I've been a fan of Barkley ever since I first heard about it and watched the documentary. I've studied I've read countless race reports from Barkley Marathons dating back into the 80s and 90s, studying because, that was one of my goals, was to eventually do Barkley. So I was trying to learn all I could, and I was a big fan. So I went out to video some of the race from park trails, and, it was just, I guess what I did, a couple things I didn't consider is, I am a YouTuber. I have an audience that watches my channel. It's a small audience, but it's an audience. But with that said, the race director, I didn't have his permission to be there, which I didn't necessarily need because it's a state park, but in keeping with the race, I probably should have reached out to him and communicated. But yeah, there's plenty of videos on my channel talking about the rest of it. Same for on Dan's channel, UltraDad's channel. You can go check out the rest of that. But in the days before my interview with John, John actually reached out to me via Facebook Messenger because we've seen each other at Frozen Head running before, and we follow.
That's
yeah, well, I've seen him out there when he set his PR on the Barkley Challenge loop, and he was moving fast. And he is an insane runner, just such an inspiration. But yeah, so we follow each other on Strava and have commented on some things here and there, and so I wouldn't say we know each other, but we know of each other. And he reached out to me, and basically was, for lack of a better word, I'd say maybe a mediator, an impartial mediator, because, he understands being a local person, and he has a perspective of growing up in that area, and somebody who's finished Barkley Marathons. So yeah, it was good. We chatted for a couple days back and forth, and then I kind of came up with the idea. I said, what do you think about maybe I interview you and you can give me some history of the race, why these media rules are there, because, something like that should probably be public so people could know why these are there, so it doesn't just seem like a power thing, Mm-hmm. And he agreed. He thought that was a good idea. And because LAS does have a set of rules, but it's not published anywhere. So for people to know that, I think was important. So we had a great talk. And afterwards, I think it was great. The response has been good from that video so far. I think it's hopefully helps other YouTubers or people that might want to go out there and film to kind of know why they should, check in with the race director and make sure it's okay. And, make sure they don't film areas they shouldn't, so they don't show off trail sections, because that hurts the park. We don't want people going out there and getting lost. So yeah, I think it was good. I think it was a good outcome.
That's good, man. I'm really, if you watch my videos, I may come across as a little more aggressive maybe than I am. I'm really happy that there's been some resolution here. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But Laz, that's his race. And, so I think there is some respect that should be shown and paid for that. But
certainly, yeah.
Yeah. And so, but, at the same time, the world is changing. And that's kind of what I like about our sport is it's not a new sport, but it seems like recently it definitely it is kind of like a new sport. There's a lot of room for people in our sport to make a pretty big impact at this stage of it. And so I'm just happy to be a part of it. And anyway, but back to the Barkley, I'm just glad that you were able to have that conversation. It was a neat one. He's amazing. And so for anyone who doesn't know, John Kelly is the 15th Barkley Marathon finisher. And when I'm saying that, I really mean that. Over the past 25 years, there's only been 15 people to finish.
Longer than that. It's been since 1987.
Okay.
Since 1987, there's only been 15 finishers, but of those 15 finishers, several of those are multiple time finishers. So it's really only, I have to go back and look, but I want to say it's 11 or 12 people that have finished. Wow. Yeah, because Jared Campbell has finished 3 times. Brett Mon finished twice. John's finished once. So yeah, it's something like 10 or 11 people. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a brutal race, and it's more about, most people who go to race it are just looking forward to finishing 1 or 2 loops at the most, if not maybe just 1. I mean, that's what.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, that's pretty exciting that you live so close to that, and I appreciate your perspective on that. That's pretty fun to hear. Well, let's see. I definitely want to respect your time. So let me ask you, what are your plans for the rest of this year? You did tell us about No Business 100 again, and we've talked about your injury a bit. Do you have any other plans? Anything else going on this year for you or your family or anything like that?
Well, I'm sorry. What was the last part?
Or your YouTube channel too. So any of that.
Yeah. Well, my next race is the Laurel. Oh no, actually, no. I actually was in the Yamacraw 50K, which was supposed to be next weekend.
Oh.
Which with my injury, I wasn't gonna be able to run it, and it's also on the same day as my wife's race she's putting on. Because of the rain we've had here and the crazy flooding, it's been rescheduled to almost the end of May. So I hopefully can actually run it now, I'm excited for that. So that's a race I've been wanting to do, because it's everything I've heard about that race is it's an amazing race. Again, by the same director that puts on No Business 100, Brian Gages. So I've got that. And then the Laurel Highlands 70.5 miler in Pennsylvania. That's like June, I want to say 12th. So I'm looking forward to that. That's a Western States qualifier. And then I have a relay race, a Ragnar relay race in August up in West Virginia. And then
I have a friend that's going to be up there,
oh
actually.
yeah,
Yeah, a neighbor of mine and a
oh
friend.
cool.
He has a group of family and a couple friends that are going to do that. So
Well, tell
that's
them to look for us. Our team name is It's Just Running. It Can't Be That Expensive. So,
Okay.
um,
I'll
so
let
I've
him
got that, and then I've got No Business, and then that's it for the year so far. And that's, I'm sure I'll do some other adventure run things. I want to do, I was going to do the Cumberland Trail, try to set an FKT on a segment from Frozen Head to Cove Lake State Park. But then I actually got injured training for that. So I might try to do that early fall. Pretty much once the foliage comes in, that trail doesn't get used. So it's almost impassable because of it gets so overgrown. So you really have to do that in like the spring or the fall, winter time. And then you winter and you got to deal with all the leaves down and more potential ankle rolls. So yeah, but no, that's my schedule. And then for the YouTube channel, I do have a lot of stuff coming up. I've got a couple of watches I'll be reviewing. Should be pretty good. Get some opinions out there on those. And then I've got something exciting coming up. A live stream thing this coming Thursday.
Oh, great.
Should be cool. But it's not just like a normal one of my live streams. It's kind of more of a, we're calling it the YouTube happy hour, and it's going to be 4 of us getting together and just having a drink and chatting, and should be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that, and might continue doing that for some times. But yeah, that's kind of the high level overview. Yeah.
So who's going to be on that?
It's going to be Kevin Exconde, and then Miles B, and then Celine Ferocious and myself.
Okay.
And that's going to be Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. So it should be a lot of fun because everyone they have awesome channels and great personalities and humor. So, and I think we're going to rotate, like have different people on each time. So it's like, kind of everybody in the community kind of comes in, and I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. I might have to crash that party at some point. We'll have to see.
Yeah. Well, come hang out, and then I'm sure you'll be one of the folks we'll have on at some point for sure.
I'd love to. But all right, man. Well, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. The floor is yours. Is there anything else you wanted to say about your channel, about the sport, anything at all? And I know you probably need to get going here, so but it's totally up to you. If you have anything else you wanted to say, I just wanted to say before I give you that chance, thank you so much for coming onto my channel. And I really, really appreciate it. It's been fun to talk to you. I can't wait to do this again sometime soon. But it's great to hear your perspective on things, and I've always had a great respect for your channel. I guess I should have said early on how I was trying to figure out this evening before the stream, how I saw your channel for the first time. I'm not sure I really remember exactly. I know, I saw you, I know you may have even watched one of my videos or something, or maybe I just saw your videos, but then
I think I watched your Mohican video.
Oh, did you?
It was your first 100-miler, I think, that one I watched.
Yeah, the Mohican 100. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So you commented, and then I commented, and then we were kind of chatting, and then I saw you, then I realized that I saw you doing a live stream with Ryan Clayton, who I follow too, and then I realized, it's funny how that works. I have a lot of fun with it. I love the sport, and I really enjoy my channel too. So, and I know you do as well. And I just definitely want to wish you the best with your channel. It's very exciting to see the growth that's going on with all of our channels, and it's just a lot of fun. So I just thank you so much for joining us tonight. Is there anything you wanted to say before we're done?
I just thank you, for having me on. It's been fun and good to get to know you over the last couple weeks. Especially around the Barkley stuff. We talked a lot. It's been fun to get to know you as well. And I appreciate you having me on. And if anybody wants to go by my channel, I'd appreciate that too. And hopefully you enjoy the content. I'm not doing a lot of running right now because I am injured, so it's more mountain biking right now. But hopefully I'll be back to running soon. And Yeah, I definitely, would like to do something like this again, and maybe have you on my channel. We'll do a chat, and I can interview you, or at least do the YouTube happy hour with us in the future.
Yeah, man.
Would be a lot of fun.
That would be a lot of fun. Real quick question,
Yeah,
because we didn't cover this yet, but tech wise, are you still flying? Which drone are you flying now? I
I've
can't
got the
remember.
Skydio 2.
How's that going? Because I think the last one I saw, the video I saw, you crashed it or something. Is it back up and running?
Oh yeah. That was the maybe like the second day I had flown it,
Yeah.
and I was doing something I shouldn't have done, and it just a little tree branch. It can't pick up those tiny tree branches when there's no leaves on them, and it crashed. And luckily, the only thing that it broke was a propeller, and the one that I bought came with an extra propeller, so I was able to get it back up that same day.
Yeah,
But it's
a neat drone.
Yeah, really. It's awesome, man. The autonomous flying abilities of that drone, like following you, that's why I got it. There is no other drone on the market that can do what it does. Now, if you want a drone for like, scenery kind of stuff where you want to fly it manually, then there's definitely better drones out there. But if you want a drone to follow you and film you while you run or bike or whatever, you can't beat that drone. It's awesome.
I saw that Seth James Damore recently bought one of those.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to be kind of a thing now. I know at one point there was a back order, and I think I put an email in there, and but I ended up getting a Mavic Air 2.
Nice, that's a good one too.
I like it, but it's not, the active track functionality is not nearly, like you said, the autonomous side is just you really can't go any better with than with the Skydio for sure. Skydio 2, yeah.
Well, the Mavic, did you get the Mavic Air 2? You said?
Yeah.
That one is the drone I'm talking about. That's certainly a better drone as far as like flying it manually. Like the Mavic Air 2 is probably one of the best drones out there for flying manually. But yeah, when it comes to autonomous flying, it's hard to beat the Skydio.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, man, I won't keep you any longer. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And you're always welcome on the Ultradad channel. Hopefully, I'm sure we'll do another live stream at some point. So just thank you so much. And everybody else for watching, thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you got something out of it. I'm sure you did. It was just really cool and a privilege to talk to UltraTrail Steven. And just running through my typical thing. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, definitely hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up for this live stream as well, and hit the bell notification if you'd like to be notified of future videos. Boy, I just got through that whole thing without having to re-record. That was amazing.
Perfect, man. That was like, you're a pro. You're a pro, man.
Well, I've done it like 150 times. So
exactly. How long have you been on YouTube?
About 2 years, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I started, I think, spring of 2019. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was training for the Fat Dog 120, which I attempted and failed. It was my first 100-miler. Stupid idea, that Fat Dog race for that. So, but yeah, that whole summer I was recording on YouTube, and I was it was small little. It was mostly just for family, just to watch what I was doing.
Yeah.
And it's been kind of fun to see some growth, but yeah. So that's when I started. Yeah, I've been out here for a long time. And a lot of videos, but I have no background in mass comm or any kind of video, anything. So, or anything like that. But,
same here. Yeah.
But it's so much fun, because
it is. Yeah.
So anyway, all right. Well, have a great evening, and thank your family for letting us steal you for an hour. And thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you all. Great questions, everybody. Have a good night.
All right. Take care.
See ya.